Hey, Nashville, it's Tala, Shatara here for the NFM Podcast, and I am with Abby. Hey, girl.
Hey, guys. Hey, Tala.
I love seeing you every Tuesday because...
especially with my hair down.
Well, I did say that. I did say your hair looks different, but you did wash it, and that is what's different, which I like it a lot, and you need to wear this more often.
Okay, I'll try, especially for all the viewers.
I love it, though. But we are so excited because the NFM Podcast is coming at you strong today, brought to you by, of course, Restore Hyper Wellness, Nutrishop, and T3 Triathlon Gear. And we are excited because we are hanging out with two beautiful, lovely ladies from Complexion, Miss Natalie and Miss Beth. Hi, ladies.
Hi. We're so glad to be here.
I'm happy
So
that you guys
excited
are
to have
here.
you guys.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. It's very kind.
What are we wearing? Like, should we just ask them what they're wearing?
This is an all-girl pod today. Have we had that?
No.
Oh, yeah, we should talk
I'm in
about
a safe
outfits.
space. Okay, who are we wearing? Tell me everything. Where did we get it?
I think I'm in full just pregnancy wear, so we're doing all Aritzia right now.
Oh, yes.
Which I feel it's honestly been. Oh wait, this might be Zara. Sorry guys, this might be Zara.
Zara or Aritzia, both great options though.
Neither. It's Cezanne. I'm wearing Cezanne and Aritzia.
Cezanne's also great
I'm wearing
too.
Cezanne and Aritzia.
Did you know they just opened a Nashville location?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
good. We're
I feel
there.
like I found it a couple years ago, and then I feel like it's really exploded. Anyway, I love Cezanne. So that's what, and then I'm wearing. What's that brand that you pronounce? Raffle loafer. It starts with an L. It's like Loeffler.
It sounds expensive and
It's,
awesome.
no, there it is.
Loeffler
There it is. It's not.
I
It's
gotcha.
not. It's all like middle line, you know?
No, it's not. And you look beautiful. I love this. All right, what are we wearing?
Okay, we just have a Zara outfit, and then just my tried and true. I have some Chanel flats that I just
Ooh, those are, I noticed those are
Casual.
cute.
just got a pair,
Casual.
high end with low end. It's
High and
great.
low.
I love
Just
it.
balance.
Well,
Does Aritzia have like a maternity line?
No, but I just
Okay,
feel
I was
like they
wondering
have
about
these
that.
like they have this really cool like boho section where you can get these like cute skirts with drawstrings. I'm just really into drawstrings right now with with the belly
things are
growing.
Flexibility
things
of
are
the-
stretching right now.
And I just feel like it's a really approachable price point because I'm like, what if I don't want to wear this in 6 weeks? You know, so
Yeah.
it's just working. Aritsia's
I
been
walked
working.
into Aritzia the other day for the first time and left with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I love Aritzia.
Yeah. What's your shirt say? Does it say
gosh.
Jesus saves, I spend?
It does.
That's what I thought. That is so cute.
We have our roles, and this is from Vessel, who were at
Our
the
roles.
Music City Expo. Today
cool.
I'm
I was
rocking
wondering
like
about that. I like
my-
that.
Today I'm rocking my religion for some reason, but it's okay. No
Love
big
it.
deal.
Please
I
do.
love it. Jesus is great. Praise Jesus. I love
PTL.
Well, yeah, I have to tell you something though.
What?
Guess who was in Knoxville last week?
I don't know.
Taylor Swift.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
And I was there.
Terry's probably like, this is not cool, but look at the reaction I'm getting.
Listen, I saw this. I saw the pictures.
I'm from Knoxville, so that's why it's a big deal. And I love Taylor.
Were you like, I should have been at that wedding?
I was like, if I get in the car right now, I can maybe make it for the reception.
I could find out where it is and go.
I can maybe like get, I hope they had like some extra food. Maybe I'll take the chicken, I'll take the veggie. I don't care.
Extra food.
But I was very excited. And I was like, I have to tell Abby on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I was in Knoxville Thursday and Friday.
Did you feel like the air was
Well,
cleaner?
I was in the outskirts of Knoxville in the country. So I didn't go.
Where?
And honestly, Maryville.
Maryville? That's where I'm from. Like literally.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, I think you told me that.
Wait, what? You were like literally
right?
in my
It's
hometown?
next to Townsend, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I
What?
was.
For what?
My cousin lives there. They just bought a farm.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
We hadn't been to see it, and so we went and just hung out and rode four-wheelers. And
Did you notice like that the air was crisper because Taylor Swift was there or anything like that?
no, actually, even if I knew she was there, I probably would have been like, oh, that's cool.
No, and Travis Kelce was
And
there
then
with
that's
her.
it.
Yeah.
They were both at a wedding.
Oh.
So it was a pretty big deal.
That is a big deal. Yeah.
Thank you.
For
curious
like
what
someone
wedding.
like you, that's a big deal.
Thank you.
Listen,
anyway,
I like her. I think she's great.
I think it was great. I think it's time for our basket of debate.
Yeah.
Okay.
We explained the rules. I'm going to go first, and I get really nervous with these
I know
things.
you
Really?
do.
Yes.
I feel like this is
Sometimes
kind of
I'm
fun.
afraid I'm not going to be able to read it or something.
Yeah, one time I got a really hard question.
Oh gosh, now I'm nervous.
Now we're not.
I like mine. All
Our
right,
basket of debate
here we go.
creators.
Oh, I heard this is easy.
Should you be allowed to ghost people in real life like you do in texts? I mean, how do you ghost people in real life? You just jump out a window or something? You just like,
Listen, I have been known to just Irish goodbye at a an event, especially if it's at my house. I'm like, it's late, people are still here. I
think people- I
so
honestly-
maybe that's ghosting. I just leave the party.
I think people really
okay.
actually appreciate that when they're like, I'm too busy, just go. Like, I think that's kind of cool. What about you?
Yeah, I think it depends on the motive. Like, if you just got to go to bed early, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, do what you need to do. But, I mean, if you're trying to set boundaries, that's also fine with somebody. But if you're just being...
Not nice and just leaving.
Yeah, like, not nice.
I like the word you use, boundaries. That's a good word. I feel like that's when it can be appropriate for you. About you.
I was going to say the same thing. I mean, Natalie knows this about me. I don't hide my emotions well. Like, I'm a very you just know how I feel. So I feel like if I'm tired, like I just leave.
Yeah.
And if I don't really have anything else to say, like we'll circle back. You know what I mean? Like I just leave and I'll text you later.
Yeah.
But it's never, I hear you with the motive. Like it's never out of like ill intent. It's more of just like, well, you'll hear from me later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just discovered we're all nice girls. We're all girls.
Well, and like if we are talking about text, like through text, the technological world, like we didn't always have to be responsive to everybody at every moment of the day.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay if, even though you see a text, to like take a minute, like you said.
I
like,
totally
take a
agree
minute
with
to
this.
respond.
I totally agree with. I think it is crazy that we all expect to hear back immediately. I mean, when you think about your day and like what you're doing, so like right now, if you're in the middle of something, we'll be here for the next hour, and it's crazy that on the other end of your phone, someone is going to be like waiting for the three dots.
Exactly.
You know?
The three dots.
I'm also the worst texter back. Like it takes me a long time. So I was like, hey, so sorry for the late response. I know you sent me a text a week ago. Here I am.
That's me too. See, I'm either going to text you back right away or 2 months later.
Yeah.
You take
There's
your
no in
pick.
between. Yeah.
How
There's
do you
no in
guys
between.
manage that? Like, do you just leave it on unread until you respond, even if it's like same?
Or
That's the
I'll
way I do
forget.
it. I wonder if other people like just suddenly remember to go back and respond.
For
I
a
have to
while,
leave it.
Apple didn't have it, so then I feel like I'd forget about it. So now I just mark it unread. And
I can't even
Smart.
remember not having that feature because now that's the only way I survive is having the unread. I mean,
Steve Jobs is really happy right now.
yeah, he did something right.
He did.
Yeah.
All right. Who should go next? Beth, do you want to go?
Yeah. I could read mine, so that was good.
Good.
Oh, good.
If you could eliminate one vegetable forever, which one would it be?
I'm going to go with Brussels sprouts.
Oh, you're not a Brussels fan.
Or is okra a vegetable?
Yeah.
Then okra or Brussels sprouts, not my thing.
Fair.
Everything else, I'm totally fine with.
Even when the Brussels are deep fried,
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's still like some
Brussels
weird
sprouts.
taste for me.
Fair.
You do too? You like?
I like them, but my husband hates them, so I never get to eat them.
Unless
So-
unless you got to eat, maybe.
Yeah.
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 Okay. What about you?
Oh man, so you were talking about trauma dumping earlier.
Yeah.
Trauma dumping with these vegetables, lima beans. I remember being a little girl and being forced to eat my lima beans before I could leave the table, and I will never touch a lima bean.
That's what
lima
it
bean.
does. Trauma.
Trauma dumping.
Yeah.
Trauma. This is like most people won't agree with this, but cucumbers. I hate cucumbers.
Really?
Yeah, all water-based things. Watermelons, cucumbers. That's really strange. I know.
It's
so
not
weird.
a part of like the complexion routine. Like,
I was going to say, they go on her
I
eyes.
can't eat them afterwards, you
I
know?
don't eat them.
That's so funny.
I think of the
know.
Princess Diaries whenever I think of cucumbers.
Did
in the
you eat
eye.
them?
Yes. This is the girliest podcast we've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
love
you know,
it.
here
I'm
we
okay
are.
with it. What about you? Oh, so you're Brussels. No, you like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I like Brussels sprouts. I think probably squash. Like I like squash, but I think I'd always probably choose a different one.
Okay.
So I'd be okay if that one was gone.
Fair answer.
Very good. All right.
Mine's in the food thing, too.
All
Should
right.
your food be allowed to touch on your plate?
Yeah. It's all
I'm
going
gonna
to the
say
same
yes.
place.
Yeah.
I also like mixing some things together. So.
Ew. I love a bowl.
What's the most unique thing you've ever mixed?
Oh man, I don't know. I gotta think about this. For a little while, my kids were big into mixing their food, and they'd be like, "Mom, try a bite," and it would be just like everything on the plate, like all together at once. So probably one of their concoctions.
I mean, listen, it's all going to the same place.
It's all going to the same place.
Yeah. What about you?
I also feel, I'm strategic with it. Like I'm very strategic with my bites. Like I
Okay.
need the right amount of condiment with the right amount of protein. With you know what I mean? Like I need all the flavors
Also like a lot
together.
of sauces.
I'm big condiment. I'm big into food.
Okay.
Big into food. Yeah.
Me
So
too.
flavors and like mixing, I feel like that's my jam. Like I love a good bowl. You know,
Okay.
whenever
Yes.
like bowls became a thing.
Yes.
And now it's like how everyone eats. But yeah, I love mixing food.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tasted baby food the other day, speaking of mixing foods. And it was like, I was
Why?
holding a baby, my cousin's baby that I
Okay.
went to see. I was holding a
Maribel.
baby and, you know, like those little pouches with the applesauce in them?
Yeah, they're all mixed.
It was like mixed with some kind of veggies or something. I wasn't paying attention to what it was. And the baby like squeezed it and some like popped off and like fell on my finger and I just licked it off and it was like some kind of
weird
some kind
Applesauce,
of vegetables.
pear.
Yeah,
Oh.
and like mixed with. It wasn't good. It was gross.
I
I was
know.
about to ask why you were trying baby food, but now it makes sense.
Yeah, I was just like trying to do multiple things at once. The applesauce goes, and I was like, oh, just lick it off, and then I was like,
Well, do you know when the best time food touches is on Thanksgiving?
That's true.
yes.
You
All
want
of those foods really blend in together. Yeah.
yeah, like cranberry sauce mixed with anything. on a
green
Thanksgiving
beans,
Yeah.
like it'll taste great.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
This is my
Abby?
turn. Let's see. I haven't read this yet. Would you rather have the ability to teleport, but only to places you've already been, or to fly, but only at walking speed?
Oh,
Okay, so
dang.
teleport to
Can't
places
walk
you've
that
already
fast,
been.
so I'm not flying that fast.
I would say teleport.
Yeah.
Because then what's the point of flying if
Right.
you're just walking the same speed?
I'd love to go back to that Hillary Duff concert, like circa 03. That'd be really fun.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad
Oh, yeah, because you go back
thing.
to
I think-
events. in the
Yeah,
past.
back
Yeah,
to,
like I would probably
and
want to
maybe
go
we'll go
back
back to the
places
Music
I've
City Fit Expo.
been. Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
I
Good
was waiting
plug.
for Terry to be like, yeah. Okay. Anyway.
I feel like the only time that would make sense is if you lived in like LA or something where traffic is supposedly insane, and if you could
walk
if you
somewhere
could just do,
faster.
yeah. That's the only way I think that would make sense.
Yeah, like I would like to fly, but at walking speed?
Yeah, right.
Nah, I'd probably get bored. Like just having to hang on the air.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'd rather
so
just be
slow.
walking.
I can't walk that fast, so I'm not flying that fast.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's not working out for me.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
ladies, thanks so much for playing another
This is
edition
so fun.
of the
I love
debate,
these.
the basket of debate.
is so fun.
I do love them. You learn a lot about people, and
Yeah.
then you start to realize like things that you really stand by, which is that I stand by my food touching, and that is something I will die with. I love that.
The basket of debate can get deep.
It really can. All right, Complexion. And two amazing ladies to talk about it, the founders of Complexion and Skin Aesthetics. Let's talk a little bit about, obviously, where the concept came from. We obviously know that there are med spas on every corner, but I'd love to know just really what makes you different.
I mean, so many things. I will say Natalie and I we started Complexion in 2019. And I mean, honestly, we started the process in 2018 is when we started like the blueprint, going to the bank and all the things. And that was not the case. Med spas were not really a thing. I came from a medical dermatology background. I was a nurse practitioner in dermatology for 9 years before starting. And Natalie came from a little bit of medical derm, but mainly like aesthetics and plastics background. And so I found myself doing more and more aesthetic derm, which was becoming more of a thing with like the lasers and all the new technology. And then that's when like Botox and fillers were taking off. And I would be doing an exam for that, and then I'd have a full skin check or like a surgical, like a skin cancer removal. And this was all balanced in my schedule of like 35 to 40 people a day. And it just was really, it didn't even make sense to go from one exam to the next. It was like I was doing two different things completely. And all my friends at that time were getting into stuff, like getting into skincare, getting into Botox.
Yeah.
And I remember them coming in, like sitting next to like a surgical patient who was like, I mean, it just was not working. I was like, there needs to be a happy medium. But the only other option at that time was going to like a plastic surgeon office.
Yeah.
Which also felt extreme when you're like, I'm just trying to get a little Botox and a little skincare.
Yeah.
So there was no happy medium. And that is really, I mean, Natalie and I met in nursing school. We met at Belmont and have been friends ever since. And we would talk about, really it was her
I feel
husband.
like we always joked, like, and it was my husband Darden who'd always be like, "You guys should start something someday." And we're like, "Yeah, maybe someday we'll both, we'll do it."
Yeah.
And so we both worked in aesthetics or derm since 2010, and then I guess it was like early on 2018 or even maybe end of 2017. We were like, okay. We were on a walk. I just had my son, and we were chatting, and we both were kind of like,
Lana was on in the background.
yeah,
I love it.
great things. And we were just kind of like, okay. I was kind of like, I'm, kind of tired of where I currently am, and need something to look forward to, and kind of a change of pace. And she was kind of talking about the same thing, and we both kind of like, well, do you want to do this? Like we always joked about it, but like, do you want to make it a reality? And so.
I mean, it's like I feel like there's people you talk to that are like, I always knew I'd be an entrepreneur. I always knew I'd own a business.
Yeah.
And that was not, like I went into nursing school to do anesthesia originally. So did Natalie. Wasn't that your plan too? Was anesthesia at one point? I mean, it just kind of like, and then I fell into dermatology because I always loved skincare. And it was one of my best friends that was like, have you thought about derm? Like it just all was not.
Reminds me of this scene in Grey's Anatomy Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No, but I love
Please.
Grey's Anatomy.
Where like Christina, they're all surgical interns, and so she had to run up to the derm floor to get a cream, and the derm floor was like peaceful. There was like soundscape
No
music
chaos.
on. Like they had residents that were on site to give you hand massages.
Okay, it's not quite
she was like, "Would you like any water with cucumbers or lemons?" And she was like, "I need to switch specialties right now," because like the surgical floor was super
Yes.
chaotic.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's like kind of what this reminds me of. But obviously, I know that that's not super representative.
No,
of
but
it.
honestly, a little bit, because in nursing school, I really did go to my parents and I was like, okay, I think I don't want to work in a hospital, because we were doing all these rotations. And the one that broke me was my rotation was in pediatric at the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital on the oncology floor.
Girl.
And then my rotation was paired with the VA hospital med surg unit. So every other day I would alternate between childhood oncology and the VA hospital med surg floor. And I just was like,
Yeah.
this is not it. And so then my mom was like, well, maybe you go on a cruise ship and prescribe Dramamine, like just do seasickness.
What?
And I was like,
random.
there's gotta be an in between here somewhere. And so anyway, like I really,
Mom.
and mom was zero help with that. She was just like, I don't know, you gotta figure something out. We're already paying tuition, so figure this out.
That's crazy.
And so my best friend was the one that was like, why don't you try dermatology? And it wasn't really set up through Belmont. I just set up my own like preceptorship for it. And that's how I landed in there. And then it just kept evolving. And then, but point to what Natalie was saying, we were on this walk and we were just talking about kind of the gap in the industry at the time. And it's just funny. Like this was never a plan to be an entrepreneur and own a business. And I just remember the first time we like kind of had our business plan in our folders and we walked into the bank to be like really official and see if they would get see how much we'd have to put down to get a loan to start the build out. And I just remember leaving the bank and we both looked at each other and we're like, I can't believe they're going to give us
said yes.
money.
It worked. Wow.
I think we were
Nice
20
credit scores, ladies.
Yeah. we had some like meetings and had given them some plans and ideas and a marketing plan and business plan. But yeah, we walked out and we're like, okay, it's official. We're doing it.
Wow.
But I do feel like the more I talk to other business owners, a lot of this is also just life. Like I just feel like you kind of are figuring out as you go. I mean, the more you become an adult, truthfully, I mean, even like being a mom, I feel this way too. Like you get into the role and all of a sudden you're like, no one knows what they're doing. No one knows what they're doing. And everyone is kind of figuring it out as they go.
Yeah.
What were the steps of figuring out how to start this brand and own a business? Like not even having entrepreneurship in your future, like thinking that it would be there. What were like the things that were like, what do we need to do? Or like, I don't even know what that is. Or like, who are the people you reached out to? How did you figure it all out?
That's a really good question.
I know. I would just say, I mean, you stop me if you have
No, you're good.
other things, but I'd say my husband is an entrepreneur, and so he was at least helpful with like, hey, here's like the steps you have to go to like get a loan approval, to like file this, to like you have articles of organization and all these things like legalities. And my brother-in-law is an attorney, so he helped with some like the paperwork and filing too. But also it was kind of just like, I feel like figuring out as we go, we're like, okay, well, we did that. So like, what's next? And
Step one, step
Googling,
two.
you know, you gotta,
Gosh, and we like laugh so hard about it now. Like now when we think about when we opened, like we were, so the space is getting finished. The build out process, the first location we had was a historically registered building. So we had to have a historically
like
registered.
downtown.
It's downtown, which was great because downtown was not as busy.
like 6-7 years ago when we were building it out, it wasn't as chaotic as it is now.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
downtown, we're like, this will be a great location.
Yeah.
But that was like so, I mean, at this point I was 28, 29 years old. I hadn't like built a house. I'd never built anything.
Right.
So all that took up so much of the brain power, which is funny because you think when you start a business, it's going to be all about your passion and what you love to do. And that really was like the easiest. That was just the easiest part. So we got so caught up with this like historically registered engineer and all these floor plans and like the design of the space.
And architect and like all the tile and the flooring, and, all the stuff that like makes a space a space.
And then it might have been like a month before we were about to open and something about signage came up.
I think our builder was like, so when's your sign getting here? And we were like,
What sign?
signage, don't you do that? And he's like, no, that's like a whole nother like permitting process through Metro, and you have to have like a sign company. And we're like,
See, those are the things like,
well,
So we opened up as a
wouldn't know where to start.
speakeasy. There was no sign.
you like knocked twice, find the door. There was no signage. It was
Like how you said that. It was just the secret society.
We were like, okay, so when you come, there's no sign and it's fine.
I
Like,
think
we're in here.
There was like a piece of paper that we were like complexion on and like taped it to the door.
so funny.
So I don't know that you need to like necessarily go by our guidebook here
Yeah.
of what the steps were.
Yeah.
Round two, when we did our second location, was a lot smoother. It's amazing how much easier the second round is because you
like
just
the second child, pretty
I
much.
know.
Yeah.
it's just like rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
You were talking about like how everybody's just kind of figuring it out. Like nobody really knows. I mean, I feel like some people do know. They just know. But I think most of us.
Have you met Terry?
Yeah, like Terry
He just knows.
He knows everything.
I need to meet Terry then.
The boss man back there.
I was like, I need to meet the guy
He's
that just
making
knows.
faces. Yeah, like I feel like the majority of us don't really know everything, but we could figure it out.
Yeah.
And like one thing, just thinking about things that are like unknown that you try to figure out. I this morning spent most of my morning trying to figure out how to create a website where I can sell workout programs on, which sounds so simple compared to starting a whole thing. But my program, I do it on Notion, and you can't download Notion as PDFs. So and that's just like where I work with clients one-on-one.
Yeah.
But actually getting my programs on a website to be downloadable, to be able to purchase.
On like a storefront.
You got to figure out where's your storefront going to be through, like Shopify or somebody else. And then your program has to be downloadable through one of them. So I'm going to have to like find a new programming platform. And then
I would have given up already.
have like a Google Sites, but it's free and you can't do much with Google Sites. Like it's just basic, like what do I offer my services? So I'm gonna have to create a new website where you can do all those things through it. I have looked at Wix before.
Squarespace or Shopify have good.
Yeah, I actually was looking at Squarespace today. I made a note of like all the pros and cons of different things I was looking at, but it's like, man, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Okay,
like,
but now I will say AI can be helpful. Like AI, just, like say like these are
Google.
the ones I'm looking at. Here's what I want to do. Help me, and it will like help you.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
And the other thing is when you're
need to
saying
use
that,
that
I was like,
more.
I feel like a lot of workout people do apps, and I wonder if that's why they turn to an app, because I wonder if you're
because it's
limiting on the website.
I
front,
do
but-
have an app that I
You do?
use. I don't like the
Trainer eyes.
No, it's called Everfit.
Okay.
But I don't like the like impersonalness of it.
Okay.
Like I want to create something that like matches a brand that's my
for you.
own that I don't even have yet. That's
I feel like
another
I'm
part
in a
of it. I want to
consulting
create my
meeting right
brand.
now. You guys are like helping. I love it.
No,
It's just like a
you'll figure
lot
it-
to figure all
It
that
is a lot
out.
to
is a
figure
lot.
out. It is a lot to figure out, and then you have to sometimes like take a step back because you just get so in the weeds, and so sometimes you have to take a step back and just like, I don't know. I'm an outward processor, so I'm thankful that I have a partner that I can do this with, because I feel like it can be lonely when you're doing it by yourself.
It is.
But sometimes just
Man, I feel seen. I literally was like so lonely. I'm like trying to figure this out this morning.
Oh,
Anyways,
you're not. I was like,
continue.
there's so many people doing the same thing. I think it's just like, even talking to some of your, going on walks with my best friends sometimes is like the best way for me to clear my headspace or get ideas. And it's people that are not at all in your industry. I feel like sometimes talking to people not at all in your industry can be super helpful.
Yeah, like your friend who suggested derm.
Yeah.
Is she in your industry?
No,
or-
she works in like, what does she do now? She works for a medical health company, and she's like high up in managers. Like her manager skills are insane. She has a whole team.
That's
She
so
does
awesome.
nothing healthcare like provider related.
Yeah.
I have been dying to ask you guys this question, and I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but medical aesthetics are always, offering the next big thing, the next new thing. And I don't know if it just gets its start like over in Europe and then it goes to LA and then it comes here or whatever. But do you constantly feel like you're in an education mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the fun things about it, because you're constantly learning. Beth and I try and go to an international conference, because they do have things in Europe or in Asia before we get everything in the US. And so going over there, you get to learn about things that are like coming, whether it's coming the next 6 months, the next like year and a half. So I feel like it's one way to kind of stay ahead of the game. And you also can learn from like, world-renowned surgeons and dermatologists and plastic surgeons from like all around the world. But yes, I feel like it's constantly evolving, and I think that makes it so unique
That's
and
the
fun.
part we love about it.
Yeah.
I think coming from, because back to your point, the medical aesthetic world has not been the most regulated. So there's, like you said, there's not a lot of barrier to entry. And so there's a lot of med spas popping up, and you don't necessarily, I will say now people are getting really savvy. I think people are learning to educate themselves and really like know a lot. But Natalie and I came into this with so much knowledge already. Like, I mean, both of us had 9 years of already in it, going to conferences with our medical background in this industry. And so we almost found that we needed more when we would go to the basic conferences. We were like, well, we're already doing that technique, or we're already using that product. And so this last conference we went to in Monaco, it was incredible. And like Natalie said, these doctors that come from all over the world, you get to get because there's not one right way to do something. So it's so cool to pick up so many like little pearls from all their different.
What's the next thing on the horizon? I mean, I feel like I saw, Cool Sculpting have their moment, the M-Sculpt Neo have its moment, even liquid rhinoplasty having its moment. Like what's like a trend that's maybe coming out?
I mean, I would say, I feel like a big thing right now is they want to look really natural, and people are really health focused, and they want to do something that's really good for them and as like natural as possible. So just regenerative medicine in general right now is so big. Yeah. So we're doing a ton of like PRF Easy Gel, the platelet-rich fibrin. You probably used to hear about PRP a lot.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So PRF is a little different.
Yeah, it's like the next generation. So I feel like it was like PRP came out a long time ago, and then it was PRF, then PRF Easy Gel, and now there's PDGF, which is platelet-derived growth factors, but it's just synthetically made. Yeah. But it's way more concentrated in growth factors than like we can get it from your blood.
It also is PRP like the vampire facial?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard of that?
I literally have no clue any of the things you guys are saying.
Tell her what the vampire facial is.
Well, honestly, the vampire facial, a lot of times they're incorporating a technique called microneedling. And so microneedling basically causes controlled injury to your skin with these tiny little needles. You get these microscopic little injection points.
It grows back better?
Yeah, so it stimulates the wound repair cascade.
There you go.
You got it.
And then they'll pair it with
PRF or PRP.
And that just like stimulates more collagen production and also cuts down like your downtime.
Yeah.
So I've people like me who come to you guys and have no clue what I would need for, like, I wouldn't know. I had this conversation with my husband. I was like, I want to go to somebody for my skincare, because right now I just buy it online from a company.
Who do you use?
It's called OneSkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stephen Cabral recommends it. That's the only reason I did it. I have no clue.
I love hearing a consumer brain though, because I've just been in skincare for so long. So I love hearing why people choose. That's interesting to know that that's what it was.
Stephen Cabral, his book, The Rain Barrel Effect, he recommends a lot of clean, better for you, like options for your home and self. And that's literally, my husband had read the book and he was like, well, try OneSkin. So
nice.
I've been doing that for like probably 6 months. But I was saying I want to actually go to somebody and like have them tell me what I need to like enhance my skin. So for somebody like me, like what would like a consultation look like? Like how could you determine what service a client needs?
Honestly, I feel like it's almost better when someone comes in, they're like, tell me what I need or I don't know what I need, but here's my concerns, because then you can kind of have, everything's open. You can talk about anything. Where someone comes in, they're like, I just want this. It's kind of like you have to redirect the conversation sometimes. And so normally we just start by kind of like asking you what your concerns are, if there's anything that bothers you, and then kind of going from there and assessing different things. Sometimes people are like, hey, here are my concerns, but like I want to start off like as minimal as we can and not injectables. And so then we'll kind of get a game plan based on like skincare and maybe microneedling, lasers, things like that, and then kind of work our way up to some more invasive, if you will, or like injectables. I always tell people like skincare does make a difference. And so it's like going to the dentist and getting your teeth cleaned every 6 months and then not brushing your teeth in between. Like you really have to do skincare to keep the results.
Yeah.
And so I will try and get people on some skincare too.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. I always say the same thing. The medical grade skincare, there's a reality to it. It's like working out and eating healthy. You need to do both. We can only do so much for you in a visit when you come in. Yeah. But no, the initial consult is so fun. It's like the most fun thing, because that's also when you get to know, that's when you get all the background, all the history. So usually the consult goes where you guys are talking 80% of the time and we're talking 20, because the 80% is like, what have you tried? What are you using? What are you concerned about? Because what you see and what I see are totally different. And it's honestly like, it's why we love what we do. And it's how we've evolved over the past 6 years. Because we've only recently launched product. We had our AIM and PM serum that came out first. And those are two products that we own the patent on and made the formula of. But we've recently been diving more into this world. So back to the point of like, we're figuring this out as we go. We didn't set out to have products. We set out to be really good providers and be a place where you guys can like trust us and know that you're going to love your result and have a really good result, and be treated really well and like heard. But this whole product part came up and it's been really fun. It's been way more than I would have ever thought. Like the amount of work it takes and like the amount of time that it takes.
I was thinking about that when I asked that question, like even down to the formulas, like of what you're gonna sell. Like that's
the easy part. The formula is the easy part.
But it is
because
fun.
that's
You
where
could,
your that's your
test-
knowledge.
You get test samples. You kind of like get different ones, and you send it back. Like, no, we don't like this one, or we want to add this ingredient, or it feels too thick, or
And
feels too-
the chemist also like help balance
Yeah.
like what can actually work, what pH stays, what stays active. So like we're not necessarily that part would be harder. We don't have
Yeah.
the chemist does that part.
Do it on our own.
But like knowing what we're reaching for, like all these, like to your point, when you come in for a consult and you guys we're listening to client after client talk about what their concerns are and what they're looking for and what is working, what isn't working. And then just using skincare like we've used for so long with all these brands, we just kind of figured out naturally, like, okay, here's something I'm reaching for, or here's a product I've used that I like, but here's what I need it to be. And so it's been this really fun way to like,
It's kind of how we figured out AM/PM serum. It was like there was like a hole, like we needed to fill something. Everyone kept talking about these different things. We're like, well, what if there could be like one product that does 5 different things, but it's one. So you're not traveling. Like if you're, traveling or going on vacation, or you're a busy mom, you're not having to put like on a hyaluronic serum and then wait a few minutes, and then put on your vitamin C serum and then wait a few minutes. It's like
Oh my gosh, who
a
has
bunch of
time for
products
that?
in one. So it's like you can
has
take
time for
them
that?
and go.
My friend has like a 15-step skincare routine every night.
No one has time for it.
I know. I'm like, how do you do
Mine
this?
is like
But then I
3.
do come over and I'm like, I'm gonna just try this real quick. She's got all like
It's fun to just, like,
the
put stuff
medical
on your face.
grade
Yeah.
ones too.
but this goes into the consult. So then there's that girl that comes in and you can tell that's like her self-care moment. She loves that.
Yeah.
And so then you're like, that opens up a whole new bucket of like, let's talk about all the things. And then there's like maybe your husband that comes in, or like a newbie. And she's just like, you can see him glaze over if you get past 3 steps, and you're like, all right, we're going to focus on the top 3 most important things today. So it's just, you kind of like give and take and just get to know them.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. I have a lot of friends that, that do the injectables, the filler, the Botox. What would you say is like the biggest misconception about it?
Oh gosh, I feel like our industry can be so broken sometimes. And I think the biggest misconception is that if you do those things that you're going to look like you do those things, that you're going to look unnatural,
Right. But you're saying now the trend is that natural is like, and I would imagine like there are techniques in terms of how to achieve like more of a natural look with those types of things.
I mean, number one, I always say, look at your injector. I mean, look at your provider. If she looks nuts, you're probably going to look nuts. You know what I mean?
Translate.
Nuts.
Oh my gosh,
Love
I
that.
love
I mean,
that.
like
I love that.
if she's sitting there with like just beyond, and like has that look where you're like, she has so much stuff in her face.
And some people like that,
And some people like that. But the good news is that person is not going to come into our office because they're going to look at our website and look at us and think whatever they think,
You know who's done a really good job being natural all these years, and then we're going to go to break? Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
She looks good.
She has.
She does. So good.
She has. We're going to go to break. We're going to talk more about Taylor Swift when we get back.
At Optimize You, we believe that normal is not optimal. Whether you've been dabbling in hormones or this is your first time and you want to know where to get started, we make the hormone optimization process very simple. Simply get started with comprehensive labs, and our providers will take it from there with you to review where you are right now and where you want to be to ultimately help you achieve your health and performance-related goals. So from our expertise in hormones, peptides, all the way to recovery services, we want you feeling at your optimized best so that you ultimately feel better physically, mentally, and sexually. Just like hormones play a significant role in the overall optimization of your health, so do recovery services help your body on a cellular level. From our sensory lounge to our infrared sauna, full body red light, full body cryotherapy, cold plunge, we have a wide range of performance recovery services just for you.
All right, welcome back to the NFM Podcast. We are here with Natalie and Beth, and we were just talking about Taylor Swift and her amazing skin. And I wonder if she uses Complexion.
You know what? She lives here, so she might.
She might.
She does look great.
She does look really great. I actually did a thing on my personal Instagram page about her because I had so many texts and DMs that were like, what is this pic? And the same photos from that night in New York kept coming on my phone or on my Instagram. And so I did a little thing on it about it.
She looks just the most natural in the business. She looks really good. I saw someone mention it the other day. They just said, like, if you want to see someone who looks natural, take Taylor Swift, who you probably don't even think even goes to medical aesthetic places or has veneers or has this, but she's got all of it and you would never know. So I love that the natural look is a big part of your brand. You ever had someone come in, this happened to me, where you have someone say, I want this, but it's not right for them. You're like, I don't think that's going to look right on you. When liquid rhinoplasty was a big thing, my Arab booty was like walking right into like the next medical aesthetic place I could find. And I was like, hi, help me. You know, I've seen photos where like you can completely transform your nose without going under the needle. And it was insane. Or under the knife. Yes. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? And they just do it with filler. And so, but the girl was like, I just don't think you'd be a good candidate for it. And I don't know if she just didn't know how to do it or whatever, but I can imagine that happens often. Mm-hmm. Take me through those experiences.
I was like, it does happen. And I think it's almost, sometimes people will come in and it's because they're fixated on one part. It's like, I want my lips done. Mm-hmm. And it's just because they know something's off in the lower half of the face. And so they just fixate on like the lips because they've seen on Instagram and so many people get their lips done. So it's almost redirecting the conversation of like, okay, well, why do you want these lips? I don't think this is right for you, but here's what I think you do need. And it's kind of redirecting the conversation of maybe they need a little bit of chin filler to balance it out. Or maybe they need, you know, small cell lower face toxin or microneedling. Or like there's something other issue, but they just don't know how to like articulate that because they just know what they know.
That's the value in somebody, and the difference, I think, between like you guys and someone else you might go, because somewhere else you might go. Because like, I think if I were to go get some work done, I wouldn't even know like what to do. And like, but my eyebrows, for example, I've been wanting to get my eyebrows done, and I did do a consult with a girl, and it's like she was listening to me mostly what I wanted, and I was like, I need you to tell me. I don't know the difference between nano brows and microblading. I need you to tell me what would enhance my face. Like, you tell me.
And there's also some people too that come in and they want their lips bigger, and we just kind of have to say like, or lips is just an example, but no, your lips are already big, and here, let me show you some pictures of yourself from different angles. And then sometimes it's just like showing them, you know, maybe they haven't seen like a profile picture of themselves. I mean, like, look, your lips are already great for your face.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's almost like you get really warped. Like you see people and it's almost like they just forget that they just only see themselves in one dimension. And so we always take photos from different angles, and honestly, the photos speak for themselves. So when you show someone a 45 degree, 90 degree, just all these angles that they don't get to see themselves at, that's when the whole conversation about profile balancing comes into place. And you can say like, do you see your lip ratio compared to your chin and your nose, or your cheekbones compared to this? And then I think showing before and afters of other clients that obviously give consent, and showing like you can have cheek volumization redone. So if you've lost volume in the cheek, which is a part of aging, or if you just genetically never had full cheeks, sometimes putting that volume back, because the profile balance will actually decrease the size of your nose. Like, it makes your nose look smaller.
Well, look at that.
So there's just so many things that just take, to your point, like just the education piece of a consult. And we've done this for so long. Like, I think I'm better at now than I'm better now than I was when I first started injecting. I think when you first start injecting, you're too scared to say no. Someone comes in and asks for something, and you think you just have to do that. Makes sense. And now you're like, oh gosh, let me just give you, like, there's so much more here that I can teach you.
Well, people that walk through your doors, there is a level of, I wouldn't say insecurity, but you are helping bring confidence back, or helping instill it further than it already is. You're really changing lives in that way. So are there any success stories that you can share with us of people that have walked through the doors and you're like, man, like, just their energy, their aura, it just completely changed after they left?
Oh yeah, our clients are like what make our practice so awesome. I think there is like a vulnerability, and a lot of my close clients are like close friends that I see talk about this a lot, like coming in, especially if you don't know me. I mean, if you've just been referred to our practice and you don't know me already, I mean, that is a really vulnerable place to sit in a chair and say like, hey, here's something that's bothering me about my face. I mean, that's really personal. And we do, like, because we're not a franchise, we don't have a ton of locations, we have a very like personalized aspect of our practice. And
we take a lot of time with each appointment, each client.
And we get to like build relationships because they come back and we do more stuff.
I love that.
And it's so yes, we do get to see them like build their confidence over time. And I would say it's just, I mean, like, the one that comes to mind is we have a client, she broke her jaw, and it was like a lot of trauma with that, and like the surgeries that she had to do, and like just the pain, the procedures, all of it. And so she has to constantly get her masseters, which is a muscle back in the jawline. She has to constantly get these treated with Botox or Dysport. And that's like not a big deal. It's just a muscle that you treat with some Botox or Dysport to relax the muscle. But for her, it relieves so much pain and so much tension. And it also like helps the symmetry of her face. because when those muscles get so big and the hypertrophied, it can square off the bottom part of your face, and so it looks more masculinized.
Oh, wow.
And so for her, it's like it's an aesthetic component, it's a comfort component.
Yeah.
And so I know we always joke that like sometimes there's days that you just kind of feel like a therapist, but or sometimes there's days that you really do feel like your job is not as superficial as working as an aesthetic provider can sound.
I don't think it is at all. And I think that people that have that misconception really need to understand that, you know, this is a form of medicine. It's a practice that, you know, provides anti-aging, you know, weight loss, so many different things that, you know, and that can also be brought on by so many other conditions that, you know, you can't go to other providers to help you for.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to have people like you guys, and specifically you saying like building relationships and listening, and that it takes someone to get to a vulnerable place to say, I don't like this about myself. And that I've been doing what I'm doing, personal training, going on 2 years now. And so I'm still pretty early in it. And that one of the biggest things I've told people that surprises me is just the things that like girls will reach out to me and say, like immediately they'll be like, hey, I got to do something. I just really don't like the way I look. Like I'm feeling really unconfident, and just get so vulnerable. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and it makes me feel like I have more of a responsibility. Like this isn't just working out. Like they want me to help them with something that they're being really vulnerable about right now. And so it makes me feel like special that they trust me to do that, because you wouldn't, I mean, as girls and anybody, you don't want to go work with or for somebody that you don't feel comfortable with, or is like intimidating you, or you don't feel safe to be vulnerable.
There's such a mental health component too for what you do. Like when you start just even being physically active, I feel like the endorphin, like just truly like everything, it's such a domino effect of how, like you just feel more confident when you're taking care of yourself in general. Yeah. So I think shifting our industry for us to like, I mean, I feel like it's not as bad in the physical world, because you can so easily translate that to like, it's just better for you to have muscle and be strong and all these things. Yeah. For our world, I feel like it takes a little bit more to say like, it is your face and it is aesthetic and it is vanity, but it's your face.
You feel good.
And it's the first thing that everyone sees. And like, there's small little insecurities that can be altered in a way that are so minimal and subtle, but have such huge improvements. And it doesn't have to make you look different than you. Like,
no, like little tweaks. It'll be like, my mom has, you know, had a baby recently, and, you know, her under eyes always bothered her, but especially now that she's not sleeping, she is, you know, more hollowing and, you know, doing this little fix like that. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I look so much more awake and I just feel better. You're like, that feels good. You know, it was like a little tweak. It was a little something. It wasn't like she changed the way she looked, but it was like made such a big difference to her.
I can imagine that's a very fulfilling feeling when you guys go home and you know that you allowed someone to go home that day, man or woman, and feel better about themselves is just so huge. And you're doing that in your industry. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing in my industry.
Oh my gosh, you are such a great personality. I mean, you're doing such a good job.
You're doing a lot.
No, but like actually I had this conversation yesterday. I was like, I have a hard time, like Natalie and I both feel this way, like transition. You start a business because you love what you do. Yeah. And then you get to a point in your business where you start growing your team. Or like for us, like we've been developing these products, and then we sit on meetings on trying to figure out our e-commerce channel and like how to expand our website, and like, you know, the company is evolving, which is super exciting. But then there's days now that Natalie and I don't see clients because we have to do all the other parts,
stuff.
The back end,
And it was actually with my husband last night. We were walking, and I was like, I just feel like on days that I'm in a room, that's how I know how to quantify like what I'm doing, because that's what I've done for so long. And then days that I'm not in the room, sometimes there's days that are exciting, and then there's days that you're a business owner and it's kind of lonely and you don't really know what you're doing and you feel like you're just fumbling. And so I'm trying to get used to that like balance of my days of like the back-to-back clients that are relationship based and really rewarding, and then the days that I'm like, all right, so there's an app that I need to figure out how to link reviews on the website.
How is the balance of work and home life? You have 2 girls.
I have one and a half. I have one
growing. Do you have any kids, Natalie?
I have 2 kids. I have an 8-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter.
Oh, so sweet. So pretty young families. How has that been, balancing home and work life?
It's busy, but it's good. I feel like, you know, we're both moms. We both now get it. Like there's times that we're like, you know, this is about our family. But I also think owning a business is stressful in a good way. And so I feel like we live in this industry and this day and age too, where like everything's accessible all the time. And so sometimes I feel like, you know, we need to be working all the time. So I feel like we have so many ideas and we have so many things that are coming down the pipeline that we're excited about. So I feel like we're working more, but I think we still have good work-life balance. I feel like weekends are with our kids and husbands.
Your husbands sound very supportive as well.
Oh God, they're the best. We have two really good. Our husbands are awesome. We're like a good team. But I would say I'm still learning the balance because I had babies later. Natalie had babies we already had one when we started, and so Complexion for me got to be my baby, and so truly like trying to balance the two. But I hear this from every mom. Like I think you just always feel like you need to be doing more in one or the. If you spend a lot of time with your kids, then you feel like you need to work on your business, and I think this is just part of it.
Yeah.
And I think I try to again take a step back sometimes and just think like how cool though, like what a blessing that I get to do something that I love and enjoy. So many people don't get to do that. They don't get to have a career that they truly love and enjoy. And so I'm like, I get to do both. And so we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a theme in the podcast of the husbands helping.
I know. We had an influencer on last week, and you guys know Natalie Kennedy.
We do know Natalie.
Yes,
yeah, she does a lot of stuff with us.
Oh, good. And so Pat and her were on together, and I pretty much told him that Instagram husbands are the backbone of the country.
Instagram husbands are the backbone of the country. That is like such a good line.
So, yeah.
I'm going to put that on a bumper sticker.
should drama.
Selling that on ads. Trademarked. Trent, you heard it here first. Everyone heard it. I am taking this.
I think it's true.
It's so true. It's so true.
So nice to have
a supportive husband in general. And I think that Instagram husbands saying that they're the backbone of the country really is just symbolizing that
partnership,
just partnership and support, especially when it comes to the new wave of media and how we're consuming it and all that different stuff, just evolving with us.
But it's how and that's how they support their wife. I mean, that just shows how supportive he is of her and everything she's doing. Plus, I think they're doing something together.
The Salt Project.
Yeah.
And we're so excited. We're getting ours soon.
We're getting a little set.
We did
the
pink one.
Oh,
we're
fun.
so excited.
I will say we did bring you guys some gifts too. So.
Stop.
Man,
oh my gosh,
we're being spoiled, Tala.
I love it.
That's so exciting.
Well,
Thank you.
I do want to ask another question really quickly. Obviously this industry is evolving, right? We talked about the next big thing that's coming and trends, but just specifically for Complexion, what are we working on for the future? Because you ladies don't sound like you're just like, we have a product, we have a store now, we're done. Like, I feel like you're always trying to maybe do the next big thing. Have you all thought about that?
We don't really sit still well. We have. I mean, right now we're 8 weeks into really since we've launched our clean line, and so it's almost like you launch
I
it.
wanted to ask about this. I'm glad you asked this question.
Oh, thank you.
Good. You guys have great questions. This is a really good podcast.
Thank you.
So this whole clean line came up. Same thing. We're seeing all these rooms with these clients, and so many people are getting really savvy, and we're like everything you eat, there's something wrong with it. Like left and right, there's something wrong with everything you're putting in your body or using.
Yeah, I know. I hear it all the time.
And we have so many clients going through, like that are moms or breastfeeding or going through fertility or thinking about freezing their eggs, or maybe they're just on a health journey and trying to figure out how to be super healthy and feel good. And so we started kind of diving more into credentialing of these formulas and exactly what goes into skincare because you're putting it all over your body. So we kind of started getting more into there's EWG1 is one credential, Credo Beauty Standard is another one. Maybe you guys have heard of the Credo Beauty Standard. And we just kind of started saying like, okay, how can we elevate? How can we stand out? And also how can we deliver and give our clients what they really are looking
Still
for?
effective products, but with clean ingredients. So there's no phthalates, no sulfates, no parabens, no fragrances, no like formaldehydes, alcohols. It's like free of a bunch of different ingredients.
Yeah.
So
Who still has any of those products?
you would be surprised.
I am shocked that people still use those things when we know that they have the
I feel
adverse
like
effect.
if you're not like actively reading the labels, it's kind of like food, right? Then you just don't know, and so
Really,
you think things are cleaner, but they're not really.
Or sometimes the vanity of it. Sometimes you have a product that's working really well and you just don't want to give it up.
Right.
So we were like, how do we incorporate some of these really great actives and how do we start answering, like how do we get a solution? So we launched our dual cleanser set, which is a pre-cleansing oil. It takes away all of your makeup, but it's one of the actives is called sea buckthorn. Not to get too in the weeds here, but it actually treats the skin. It treats the bacteria. It treats inflammation. So if you are acne prone or rosacea prone, so you're actually treating your skin and hydrating it while you're taking your makeup off. It's just
so good.
I love the
it's
dual.
just it's very effective.
I'm imagining it feeling very nice.
It feels very nice. It's just it's like efficiency. You're like eye makeup, everything comes off, and then you follow with our reset cleanser, and that it's really like the duo together. That's really what makes it. And then we launched a dry oil, but it's a retinol and a dry oil because everyone wants to carry it down their neck and chest, but it's really hard to do that with the retinol. And then we also wanted something that was in a vehicle that would be tolerated well. So it's super tolerable. It's okay if you have more dry or like sensitive prone skin. And then we launched our cool down moisturizer, which is like a gel cream, and we can use it post procedure. So if you are getting any microneedling done or post facial, post dermaplane even, it's just free of everything. And it goes on and it has like a cooling effect. And honestly, a lot of our male clients love it. And then, so we're, to answer your question, long-winded here, but we are just kind of continually seeing like what's next, what's needed next, what are we reaching for that doesn't already exist.
Yeah.
Just launched Block Party, which is our mineral SPF. So it's that one we just launched. So it is all mineral based, which is what you want. It's a SPF 50. It's sheer, so it doesn't leave like a white cast on the skin.
Nice.
I was going to ask about SPF because I hear from all the magazines and my mother and Jennifer Lopez that the SPF is like, that's like a big tip and trick.
Just start there.
Skincare. Yeah.
That's like the number one thing. I'm like, if you're not wearing SPF daily, just go ahead and put SPF on.
Yeah.
So to answer, that's what we're diving into. And it's been really fun to formulate. It's been really fun to see how to like sell, because Natalie and I we just started this because we just love providing for people and doing what we do in like service based. And so now we're trying to figure out, okay, we have all these great products. How do we get the word out and how do we let people know? So we're really thankful for this opportunity because this was, I feel like, a good way to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about all the things.
Thanks. We are too.
Yeah. And the first word I look for, like when I looked you guys up, is clean. And so I think you're right. Like people want to be healthy along with the natural, like they're looking for health overall and wellness. So I appreciate your passion for creating clean, better for you products.
Thank you. That still works.
I'm excited. Yeah, that still work. And that's a great point. Like my hair care, for example, I used one thing for a long time and it worked pretty good, but I wanted a little bit different results with my hair, and I compromised a little bit on a couple ingredients or whatever, just as a different brand. And so it is nice to just know that like you're using a product that works and is good for you. So I'm really excited to try it.
Last question.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about this for a while. And I think that a lot of people, I don't know if it's a misconception or if it's actually very true, but a lot of people, when they want to eat better or have better skincare, they feel that it's obviously more expensive to do those things. Do you feel that there is a compromise there? Like, is it possible to buy good skincare in a drugstore? Tell me a little bit about that.
As I say, I think it depends on the product and the active ingredients in it. And sometimes it's the delivery system of how it's getting into your skin. So sometimes people come in and they're like, well, I have a great retinol and I got it for, $10. And it's probably not doing as much as it could be doing. Like the retinol we have, the clean one, it's clean ingredients. It's 1% encapsulated, meaning it's going to kind of bypass the first layer of your skin to not cause irritation. So the delivery system of how it gets into your skin and into your cells is a lot different than probably an over-the-counter drugstore one. But I do think like there are some great over-the-counter cleansers. There are some great mineral sunscreens out there.
I was like, we typically stick with like European. In Europe, they're just more strict with their ingredients and what you can get approved. Yeah. So like Avene is a brand that's from Europe. So a lot of times we'll recommend if you need to go over the counter or if you're trying to figure out where can I go back to like even our outfits, like when you're mixing high-low, like where does it matter? I'm like your sunscreen does not need to be $100. Like you can get a really good mineral sunscreen. Your retinol, your vitamin C, those ingredients are going to cost you a little bit more. But like your face washes, your sunscreens, if you're going to do a hyaluronic, there's just certain things that don't need to be super expensive. So a lot of it's just kind of picking and choosing, giving some education on what's important, like what's really active and what's hard to really go down in quality. I always give the example of like jeans from Target or like your A Goldies, like they're just different. It's different quality.
But I also think sometimes when people come in for a consult, sometimes people come in and they'll have a budget, and that's totally fine. And they'll say like, I want to buy some skincare, but like, here's my budget. And I'll say, what are you currently using and what do you love? And here's what I would, here's what I would invest in, and here's what I would just kind of keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so helpful. I like just like having a bundle, one price, and know I'm getting everything. But like if you like need a little bit less of that price, it's so nice to know. Okay, but what do you get? Like, what's the most important things to spend money on?
Right. My friend that has that 15 step skincare routine, it's all like Skin Farm, Murad, like all of the top quality products. So I spend a lot of time over there around nighttime. Around nighttime, yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna come over just for like nightcap and just skincare things.
Yeah. Literally, she's got like she's got that mask with the red light therapy.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
got
I was going to ask
everything.
you guys about that, which we don't really have time. But
Ask them.
red light
They're
therapy.
here. Ask them.
Yeah, I was going to ask what you think about red light therapy because I've been making myself do it at least 3 times a week.
Wow.
And I need to know. I need some reinforcement that I should keep going.
I was like, I feel you can.
Okay.
You should keep
Yeah,
going.
keep going. If you're consistent with it, I feel like that's when you see a difference. If you're just a person that's going to use it once in a blue moon, you're not going to see any results.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
use
so
it
if you're,
consistently.
I feel like I tell people go with one that's comfortable to wear, go with one that's on a timer, whether it's like 3 minutes, 5. I think some go up to 10. Do something that's like a rechargeable battery or like something that makes it easy that you can stay consistent with
Yeah.
it. But no, there's so many benefits with infrared light and red light therapy. So many.
I'll be coming to
Yes.
your house around that
Yeah.
time as well.
Yeah, you can go get your
I have
mask
the-
there.
Very much.
I have the higher dose one. My husband got it for me. And also for the listeners, pro tip, you can use your HSA.
Oh,
So a lot of
Really?
HSAs you can use on red light therapy, which is like,
Smart.
Very smart.
I was like, oh, well, get me the pod, get me
give me
everything. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All
This has
right.
been so good, guys. Thank
love
you
it.
so much for
thanks
coming
for
and
having us.
sharing.
Thanks for having us. This is really fun.
Yeah.
now.
Okay. So, where are you guys located?
We are off of Murphy Road in 440, or like West End. So if
Okay.
you know where Dose Coffee Shop is, which I feel like everyone knows,
Yes.
we're to
Yeah.
the left
Dose.
of that in the new high rise.
Okay.
You guys are in a
perfect.
great spot.
Yeah, we're going to get spot.
So, Complexion by Dose or near Dose.
Yes.
And then obviously Instagram and you have a website.
Complexion Nashville,
Complexion Nashville.
for both Instagram and our website.
Okay, awesome. Everybody give a follow. And also make sure you're following the NFM podcast on all the platforms and keep listening, guys. We'll see y'all next time.